Hello and welcome to New Wave Therapy. Bob Burdican here, and today I was supposed to be starting a series of posts on the best kept secret in supplements, but there's been a bit of a detour happen, and that detour is that we're going to be talking to Dan Young. Now, Dan is a board certified traditional naturopath. He's also a certified nutritional consultant that heads up the Country Doctor Nutritional Center in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And I thought it'd be a good idea to let Dan explain what Country Doctor Nutritional Center is, how it came about, and what led to the creation of the best kept secret in supplements. So there's Dan. I'd love to hear what you've got to say, Dan. Go ahead.
First of all, Bob, thank you so much for taking the time to put this series together for people and from an educational standpoint. As you and I both know now more than ever, the flow of good quality information and good resources to really assist people in helping them achieve optimum health is needed now more than ever. And there's so much confusion out there in the world of supplementation and of herbs and things that people can do that really do position them to thrive with their health. And so I thank you for the opportunity to spend some time with you and put together these series.
That you're more than welcome. I'd love to have people come in and talk, do the whole thing together.
That's awesome. You know, our background is really one of doing it for our family. We didn't, when my father started studying herbs back in the late 70s, he did not do so because he wanted to develop a large practice, become a large manufacturer of quality products that people could trust and believe in and get great results. It was all that. It was a byproduct. As you know, my grandfather, Vincent Spoth, in the 70s, suffered from Parkinson's real bad. It is a neurological condition that modern disease management did not have a real handle on how to help him. And they were playing around with medications at the time. And it took about a year of back and forth, no real response to these medications. So what happened was his primary care physician one day said, "Hey, we have this new and wonderful procedure, guaranteed that if you get this done, he'll stop shaking." So their approach was to take him into the hospital and cut the nerves in his wrist. And in their minds, that was a solution because he stopped shaking. The challenge is that he actually atrophied a little bit and lost the use of his hand, and it really didn't prove to be much of a solution at all. And that's really what kind of was the catalyst in our family to look at things that we could do naturally in a non-invasive manner. The science was out there, the products and the access to clinicians who had been working in the area of herbals and herbal remedies was very extensive, all the way back into our history with China and some of the originating countries and herbalists and acupuncturists that brought us all of this amazing resources that people could trust in, they could believe in. It didn't have side effects, and it got really good results in most cases. And so fast forward now 24 years from that experience, in 1998, Samuel Young, my father, started Country Doctor Nutritional Center in a little place just north of Cheyenne from here called Torrington, Wyoming. And, if there was any strangers in town, we knew it because it was a very small town, but he started working with people. He started consulting with them on what they could do with natural remedies that supported function, didn't mask symptoms, and didn't hide the body's ability to tell us that there was actually a problem, but actually would support normal function. And in today's climate now, at the time of this recording in January of 2023, the entities and the agencies out there that you and I have to navigate and get along with in our communities, it's wonderful to be able to say that these things support normal function. So he started the clinic in 1998. I was fortunate enough to join him October 15th of 2001. And my actual first clinical day working with him side by side was November 1st of 2001. And from that moment to this, what has happened for our family practice, our health, our communities, and now kind of on a national, we're spread out quite a bit across the country in sharing with other practitioners what they can do. with their communities, with their clients. And really, it all centers around, our family's experience watching the disease management model really not give solutions and only provide band-aids to our family and to our loved ones, our grandparents, my grandparents.
Right.
And so that's where it kind of stems from. That's where it all kind of started. And, there's a lot more to it than that, but that's kind of the catalyst for Country Doctor Nutritional Center and how it got started.
So I believe you've got your own lab where you make a lot of your own tinctures right there. Is it correct?
Yeah, I was thinking about our talk today. I was reminded of the fact that the Country Doctor Herbals it's kind of like just the tip of the iceberg. And what most people in our community, our clients, the people that we serve, the practitioners that we work with across the country that carry our product line, they only see the tip of the iceberg, right? They see the clinical reference guide. They see some recommended uses for those nutrients and how they can support normal function, but they don't see the underlying part of the iceberg, the other 92% or 98% of the quality control, the P's that go into the handling, how Linda and Nora and Tammy monitor the raw materials, how they're stored, the blending and the mixing and the quarantining and the third-party lab testing that goes into making certain that we're producing a product that's head and shoulders above what people are going to purchase at the basic grocery stores and the different health food stores that are out there. There's a lot that really goes into making sure that the end use consumer is receiving the best quality, and the best standards have led up to bringing that best quality to them.
Okay. So how many people do you have now working within the clinic, within the lab, all of that?
Right now, we're sitting at 10 people between the lab and the nutritional center here in Cheyenne. We have 2 part-time clinicians, myself as a full-time clinician. We have 2 upfront folks that handle all the scheduling and the inventory and all the things that take place in a clinical setting. And then we have Jason, who runs our shipping. He does a great job out of shipping all over the country and actually around the world for people that are using our products. And Tammy and Nora and Linda are a very cohesive team to make sure, again, the quality control, production, bottling, labeling, sealing, checking out all the third-party assessments that have to be done on a finished product to make sure that it's safe for the consumer. And so there's 3 folks there and 6 to 7 folks over in the clinical side.
Well, with the program that you've created, do you have any type of estimate of the number of people's lives that you've positively affected?
Right now we have on the clinical side, we have right at 700 clients that we service. We have almost 300 of those clients have been with us for over 10 years in the clinical side. And I know that with Rachel and the work that she's doing with our practitioners across the country, she's approaching well over 60 active clinical locations and practitioners that are either using the products for themselves personally and their families, all the way up to folks that are using, thousands and thousands of dollars of these products on a monthly basis to service all of their clients. So it's literally in the thousands of people now that we've been blessed to either serve directly or by way of our wholesale accounts indirectly to their communities and their clients.
So are you actually looking to gain more wholesale accounts, more practitioners, or what's the goal that way?
Our goal is to have at least 2 to 3 practitioners in every state that are carrying our products, and more importantly, that are experiencing the level of support that we provide in helping use those products properly. Herbal remedies are very effective and they need to be used properly. And we provide reference guides that help people, practitioners, put people on these products in a way that's very meaningful and very effective and monitor them properly. But we want to make sure that we're always available. I got practitioners texting me all the time, asking different questions. Got this case, what do you think? And we're always available for that type of communication, because the better the communication with our practitioners, our team across the country, the less time these practitioners are spending in problem solving, and the more time they can dedicate to executing and attracting more and more clients to serve and help them get their health straightened out.
Well, that's really great. I really appreciate you going through all of that and really explaining where you're at and where you're looking to go. It's really something that people need to be more aware of. Out here in the West, hardly anybody knows about you.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a big thing that you're going to try and change, right?
Yeah. One of the things is credibility, I feel, just for me personally, business credibility is based on getting really great results for people over an extended period of time. So when I think back to my father's learning curve with herbs from 1974 to
Right,
1998,
right.
that's a long learning curve of building credibility and understanding the philosophy of helping people get well and maintain their health. And then from 1998 until now, from a clinical perspective, offering these things in our community and through other practitioners, we now have a very well-established track record for sustainability. I never want to grow too fast that I can't maintain that personal contact, that these practitioners know they have this support in place so that they are not left kind of scratching their head wondering, well, how do I proceed with this specific case or challenge that I'm
Yeah.
working with? So we definitely want to grow. We definitely want to add wholesalers. We definitely want to take them through a kind of a screening process to make sure we're a great match for them, and making certain that they understand all the additional resources that we provide for them to be really successful. I've got a lady traveling here Monday. She's going to do a shadow day. She's going to follow us all day long. She's going to follow me. We've
Well, that's
got
good.
20 appointments on Monday to go through, and she's going to witness the intake, the communication, how we design protocols, and how we monitor and position that client to really thrive and be successful with their program.
Well, that's really good. Have we covered pretty much everything you need to put out there for the people right now, or?
I think so. I think it's just, it's a question of just making sure that, we encourage people to plug into the series that you're producing. We want to make sure that the awareness grows that, there are solutions to health concerns.
Oh,
And
yes,
we're
yes.
not concerned about the thing so much as we are really focused on positioning that person with the right resources to develop the new health habits over time with cleansing and nourishing,
Hmm.
and they can restore a lot of great function to the body.
Well, I know that works because I personally have been involved. Actually, I was started with your dad. I've been on the
Yeah,
products over 20 years. My wife's been on the products over 20 years. People don't believe I am the age I am. I think
right.
it's mainly because I take care of myself. But I
Mm-hmm.
have an additional surprise for everyone, and that's Dan has offered to stay with us throughout our entire postings. And he'll be explaining all the products in the Country Doctor Herbal line fully. And I want to
Yes.
thank Dan for that.
Yeah,
I
my
do hope
pleasure.
that, I do hope that we've piqued your interest enough that it will entice you to subscribe and get that notification bell going for you to make sure that anytime we put a new posting up, you're going to be notified that it's available. So
Yeah.
until next week, we'll start to cover the very first product in the line. And I want to thank you for taking the time to be here today, Dan, as well as letting all the people out there know that they are the people that makes this project possible. Thanks again, Dan.
Thank you, Bob. I appreciate it.